Hey everybody, Adam Savage here in my cave, and it is the Christmas season. It might be after the Christmas season when you're watching this, but right now it is the Christmas season. And you might or might not know this about me. In addition to having children, I also have some nephews and nieces in the Pacific Northwest. And my nephew wrote to me last week. He texted me. He's in his mid-teens, and he said that he had a really great idea for me for a one-day build. He said there's this game, it's called God of War, and there's an axe in it called the Leviathan, and it's got magical powers, and maybe I should build one. And then about 10 minutes later, I got a second text from him that said, also, I want one. I love this. I love this. He sent me a picture of the Leviathan, and I haven't played God of War, but I did some research, supposedly built by the same people that built Mjolnir. Thor's hammer. This is awesome. This is an awesome one-day build. I'm going to do it. I'm going to send him the axe. I've also got a commensurate present for his sister that will satisfy, of course. But God of War axe. That's what's coming up. That's today's one-day build. One thing I did was I decided arbitrarily on a size of about 32 inches tall, about that tall, and then I photoshopped it that size and printed it out in a kind of a tiled fashion. Yes, so that I could print one out full size and then just copy it. It's going to have a wood handle and a foam head with some plastic in the middle to give it some rigidity. And I'm hoping to complete the whole thing in about 5 hours. We will see. First things first is to tape together this set of drawings that I have. Well, this is one of those cases where tiling something together is a great way. Having a one-to-one copy is it's hard to overestimate just what a powerful thing it is to have a one-to-one sized copy of a thing you are replicating. There's just no way you're going to get a better building sample than this. It runs a lot of mistakes off at the pass. And yeah. So each time I'm going to do the print, I'm literally just selecting a portion, printing that, and then overlapping heavily to do another one, and then overlap. It's like poor man's tiling, and I still maintain that it's ridiculous. There's not a great piece of software for this. But we work with what we've got. And it's great when the drawing you're working from has a lot of detail in it because it gives you a lot of registration to play with. Once I'm finished with this, I'll probably cut it out. Yeah. I'll probably cut it into 2 pieces. All right, now here is where it's a little confusing because I didn't bridge across. Oh yeah, easy. I got the cloth here to match up. That's a great one. Oh. Also, this end is going to be really, really fun. Oh, wow. I really didn't give myself a lot of room to move there, did I? Oh, yeah. I cut that one just a little too close in my printing, but I see the bottom of the... Yeah, there we go. That's what I was looking for. This technique of doing up, and looking underneath, that's actually how animators often in between animation drawings. Flip. Yep. Okay, so that's how big it's going to be. Oh, yeah. Merry Christmas. Nothing says Merry Christmas like a war axe. That's what I always say. Taping up the backs so it's nice and monolithic. Yes, that is my favorite word. It's true. We will cut this. The hard part of this build... Actually, I feel like it's going to be the wooden handle. I want to get that right. So, there is my Leviathan template. Awesome. Now, I am going to cut the handle, I think, out of here, out of this piece of pine 4x4. The question is, can I get it out of this piece of pine 4x4? And it looks like I can. It looks like I'm going to have some knots, but actually if I stay up here, that's pretty clean. Yeah, that's actually not bad at all. All right, I've done a pencil sketch of this, of the Leviathan handle, and I'm going to transfer it to Sharpie so I don't lose. Okay, now I'm going to cut this out on my bandsaw, and I'm going to leave myself up here at the head of the axe. I'm going to leave myself a bunch of extra material so that I can grab onto this while I'm working on it, because I'm going to need to do a lot of shaving and carving and all sorts of that kind of business. It's already starting to feel like something, but now it's time. So, and I did a thing I like to do on builds like this. I used the bandsaw on an angle to just soften the corners. That just gives me a little more guidance about where I want this to go. But if you look at it here against the template, I think you'll see that we're in pretty good shape. Yeah, that's pretty darn close. Right, I want to shave some stuff off of here. I'm going to be shaping this like a prop maker, not like a carpenter. So you may be surprised at some of the techniques I'm about to use. I also don't know if you remember, many months ago, I was pulling out my grinder to use it, and I pulled it out, spun it up just to test it. And then as it spun down, it kicked off its little tightening wheel. And that tightening wheel went flying somewhere in the shop, and I didn't find it in that one-day build. I actually had to find another one. I found it this morning. How about that? All right, so this is going to be a bunch of grinding. I think I'm going to get a mask on because I'm about to make a lot of dust. When people are making actual rifle butts or axe handles, there are, how do I say this? I'm going to start. So most of the time online, when I see people who start with a template like this and then go to sand it into the round, if this is the cross section of the piece of wood we're talking about, what I see is people doing rounding like this. And they leave these big, wide, flat expanses. It is something I most particularly see in Boba Fett and Tusken Raider rifle butts, which there are some flat-ish areas of some of those gun butts. Historically, there's less than you think. And specifically for an axe handle, it's really important as you're coming in not to leave too much of a flat. You really want it to feel round. You want to keep checking and continue to check to feel for that roundness. That's what's going to make it feel like a tool. Just a little note. All right, back to the mask, back to the grind. And by the way, these heavy duty flap wheels for the grinder, they move wood, so much wood, so fast. This place, I've just been doing another carpentry thing, so my whole life is dust right now. Here we go. One note, they can, I got a little cut in my left index finger from this. They take a lot of meat out of the wood. Just be aware that they'll take a lot of meat out of you too. I was going to stain it early. I got to make the space here for the axe, right? There's this. It comes down to here. I would tell you stuff about chisels right now. But I'm making this up as I go along. I'm not very good with these things, so I'm just kind of feeling it out. I'm doing the classic chisel thing of hammering in, from each edge. And this chisel is pretty sharp. I'm aware because I sharpened it myself. And once I have this edge fence in, and it really is like a fence, now I go in and I chisel up to that line. God, I love cutting cross grain with a sharp chisel, man. That is a lovely sound. It's a crunchy and delicious sound. Retaining a kind of a border here, which is exactly what I was hoping to do. And then going in and pulling out the middle part. And I don't have to be aesthetically great about this middle part because I'm not going to see it. It gets covered. Crimes get hidden. Now, I want to transfer this pattern to 2 pieces of this sintra, and we'll see if I can do such a thing. I'm going to try and use just regular copy paper for that. All right, here's how I'm going to transfer. Here's how I'm going to transfer the pattern. Take a piece of paper here. I've got this color printer paper for my laser printer. It's pretty weak paper. And I like this. If I went to go draw a pencil line, and what I noticed is it split right around where the pencil went. So that's actually how I'm going to make this cutout. And I'm going to come up here, trim those later. This is the left side, L, L. All right, I've got the patterns drawn out here on the sintra. This is going to be some of my main material for this axe. I'm going to cut it out on the bandsaw way over there. Can I get it in the same shot? Sure, why not? Oh, I'm going to shape this. Right now, it's just this very specific cross section. I'm going to make it more like a piece of hammered metal, like this. Bellissimo. Yeah. There you go. You can kind of see there. I'm trying to eliminate some of the flats, but we'll get a lot of texturing in there later, so I'm not that worried about it. The Leviathan Axe is going really well. I've got the 2 pieces that hold the blade down to the handle. The handle is in great shape. I think the dragon at the bottom is super awesome. I'm going to make it a little more accurate a little bit later, but for right now, it's totally great. Now it's time to cut out the axe. And I thought I was going to make this out of foam, but I'm going to make it out of a different kind of foam than I thought. I thought I was going to use EVA foam, but in fact, now I realize I'm going to use Sintra, which is a foam, but it is a foam PVC. In different countries, you might know it as a product called Sinex. It's a wonderful material. It's got a very reasonable density. It is flexible and fairly durable. I mean, you can shatter it, but it's great for cosplaying because it's also super light and it's easy to work with tools. It is what I used for these two pieces, and you saw me sand these down on my belt sander earlier. What I'm going to end up doing is probably cutting 4, maybe 3 axe heads total. Yeah. I'm going to end up cutting... Oh, heat gun, heat gun, heat gun, heat gun. Yes. Sorry, I didn't mean to get so excited about that, but I think I figured out how I'm gonna work this. And it's gonna be this thick, and then I'm gonna do a good sharpen on the blade. I may make it 3. I may make it 3 blades thick. Yeah. Cool. All right. So that requires. Well, you said you had a tire iron. I am now I'm going to just cut this thing out. Yeah, just like this. Mm-hmm. This leather covering on my workbench actually provides for paper, a nice cutting mat. And I can go very light. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, I think, tape this to one of the boards or spray mount it. Oh, you know what? No, I'm not. I'm actually just going to trace it. That's what I'm going to do. Oh, so I can. All right, I'm going to cut these in half, and that will give me 4 pieces to work from. 24, 12. It's a beautiful looking blade. I must say, it's a lovely looking blade. Having worked on a bunch of Lord of the Rings blades, I mean, having, be familiar with those shapes, this is a really nice looking. Okay, so this is going to go from there. That's going to be the part that extends all the way out to there. Yeah, I'm going a little bit farther. So there's my axe blade. There she blows. I'm going to cut this out of 2 pieces. Yep. Yeah, it's going to be pretty. Now we're going to unpack one of Sintra's secret powers, one of its awesome secret powers, which is similar to PVC pipe. It can easily be heated and formed. And so before I even start to trim this a little bit, what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat this middle section on both halves here. And then I'm going to use some spring clamps to hold them together, or actually probably some quick clamps. Yeah. 1, 2. These will be kind of floppy once I'm ready to work with them. And then I'm going to do that, get them on there, get them situated with each other, and then I'll start worrying about how the other parts fit onto there. But, oh, I guess I can get rid of... It's really great to have a supply of sintra. And it comes up, I think it comes at least half an inch thick, 12 millimeters. But I'm just using 1/4 inch. All right, so let's do... I'm just labeling what's the inside. Yep. And I've got my heat gun here. It's already starting to soften a little bit. You want to spread the heat as evenly as possible. You don't want to get it too... Oh yeah, okay, so I'm gonna keep that going. Hard to heat 2 pieces at once, but I'm gonna try it. Yep, that's working. Trying to keep the heat moving all the way through. I should have a bit of time because it does have its own insulating properties here. All right, so here we go. Let's do that, and yep. It's actually working out pretty okay. Ladies and gents, you see what I'm saying, right? So now when I glue this, it'll actually have this slot in the middle, and I can also cut this guy pretty close here. I can cut this like right there. Here is the stuff. The thing that's so great about PVC cement is it's a weld bond. So it really does. So let's see if this, yeah, see that? That's great. I'm gonna add some PVC glue to this. Yeah. Oh, come on. All right, there's stuff in there. Ah. There we go. All right. I don't have a lot of time. And by that I mean, hang on, I want to get this. PVC glue sets super quickly. So I'm going to want to kind of go fast here. Maybe I'll do this side first and then I'll do the other side. Maybe I'll try that. No, let's try one side at a time. Yeah, that way. It's a weld bond, so it makes the 2 pieces one. Weld bonds are some of my favorite glues, specifically because they're such a positive joint. Yeah, it can hold you. And we'll do the same thing over here. Hopefully. Yeah, I think that actually wasn't that bad. Great. That's wonderful. All right, so on the left side here, I have sanded down the PVC until it meets the handle here. Actually, I got to take a little bit more right here. Right back. That's it. Just using my disc sander as it's spinning down. That's all I really needed. And then the left one is going to sit here like this. And it is going to, it's going to break out some upholstery tacks for this. So I'll cut that and then glue that, and then I'll do the other side. All right, I've cut this one to size. It's going to go right here, and I think I can officially glue it. All right, and go here. And if I have to fill in some stuff later, I will, but I don't think I will. Damn, that is looking good. This is a super fun project. I knew this would be super fun. Yeah. Ooh, I think the other one might go on really nicely. Let's see. Well, that was a really good positive grab. Not very happy. All right, so let's get the other one going. One of the other things about Sintra or Sinex that's so nice is because it machines so easily, just using the soft part of your belt sander is great for long kind of gentle transitions like this one. And it's about to sit right here. Comme ça. Yep. And I'm really getting pleased with this. And all of a sudden, we have what looks very much and very respectably like the Leviathan. So I need to do all of this stuff I can do with a hot knife, a wood burner. But this little coin here, I really like. I think I have something close to that somewhere around here, if I can remember where I stored it. I used it with some British coins, British policeman buttons that I used at the base of Rabbit's truncheon. Yeah, for Year of the Rabbit on the BBC. I made the hero weapon for that show. I think I figured it out. I found a couple of pirate doubloons from a treasure chest I built for Savage Builds, and I think I'm going to utilize these. Yeah, I think I'm going to use a Forstner bit, drill a little hole. Okay, want to see something really cool? Now we've got axehead like this, and this thing still pops right off. Oh yeah, no, it's cool. Oh, so cool. Okay. Let's see here. I'm gonna mill these down a bit into a slightly smaller circle. Give me a couple minutes. I'm just gonna. I'm going to use a bucket of water to keep these cool, and I'm going to use a pair of smooth jaw pliers, channel locks, to hold on to it. And I'm just going to use this sander to go all the way around. And it's just going to. Yeah, just roughly around the circle. Actually, it being a little rough works for the aesthetic that I'm looking for. These machine pretty easily. I think they're just a alloy of zinc. Yeah, those are great. Now, these split the difference between, yeah, that's great. So I'm going to get a Forstner bit that's pretty close. Oh, right. I also have these detents here in the side of the handle, and I'm also going to put those in, and I've marked them actually already. And I'm going to use 3. I'm going to use this, my ball and mill. Oh, yeah. This build, I don't want to jinx it. I'm just happy with how it's going. I'm having so much fun, I delayed going home. Called my wife and said, I got to spend a couple more hours dialing this axe in because I'm really happy with it. Well, here you have the coin slot and the 3 detents. I also have some large rivets, which go here and here and here and here, and those I'm actually going to use carpet tacks. I'm really pleased with how this is. I keep saying that. I'm pleased with how this is going. I'm pleased with how this is going. Yes, we can assume, I think, for the record, that I like what I do. With all the tooth on the Sintra and on the coin, once I join these, they're just never going to let go. That's really nice about them. Okay, now some carpet tacks. We'll get that. We'll hit that with a little crazy glue afterwards just to make sure it's really secure. I'm cutting these at an angle, so I still have somewhat of a point on them. I don't really need that much, but you know, every little bit helps. Oh yeah, I don't even need the hammer for that. I can just push them in. Very thin, easy glue. This is the scary stuff. Just gonna put a little dot. I am going to hit the handle, which is now 95% complete, with 95% complete. I'm going to hit it with some Scotch-Brite just to make everything, to bring it all to a smoother kind of persuasion. Yeah. I think this will make it take the paint better. Wonderful, wonderful. I think it's good. So now I'm going to do a couple things. Right. It's time to sharpen the axe. That is a big deal. So the axe has an edge. And the edge is about there. And so, okay, so we're going to cut, that's going to be our sharpened edge, and we're going to do the same thing over here, but a much more. Sharpening a blade like this, I'm using the same techniques as I would for grinding an actual blade. It's just moving material a lot faster than it would if it was steel. I'm just going to even out some of the inconsistencies. With this finger sander. Excuse me. Nail sander. Once I get the shape right, then I'll go in and I'll smooth it out with a higher grit. We are close. All right, it's time for the wood burning. Okay, so now I want to draw out exactly the patterns that are on here. I'm just burning through this build. Right, so. All right, I'm going to get to some painting and some. I'm going to get to... It's on to the aesthetics! This place is such a god-awful mess. I am going to clean up tomorrow. That's what's going to happen here. But first, we're going to get this guy covered. Wait. Oh, I went with light walnut, and I wanted a darker one, so I'm actually going to have to pull that out. But I'm going to finish with the light walnut because I started. Can't really undo it. Not nearly dark enough. We're going to go much darker. Hang on. Welcome, dark walnut. Oh, right. I also want to get some primer on this. I'm just going to get the stain on this first, though. Yeah, see that? That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. That's a stain. There we go. All right. I'm going to let that soak for a minute. In the meantime, I'm going to get... I'm just literally rubbing acrylic paint on this with my hand. Yep. Oh, yeah. All right. I'm now going to give this a clear coat of Krylon because I like the protection that it gives, and it's also going to give it a more of a glossy handle. Okay, now I'm going to do a little bit of like a dark wash on this. Now I've got some Tamiya here, light gunmetal, which I think is going to be the base for the axe head. Now I've got a chrome paint. I'm going to hit the edges of both blades on both sides with the chrome paint to be like a kind of a shiny edge. All right, I've just weathered the top of it with a little bit of clear, watery, raw umber. I've just tossed a little bit of raw umber on the top of that. Can you tell I really want to get this done tonight? I'm kind of going nuts. Okay, so now I'm going to put the hammerhead on here, and I think I'm going to pre-prep it with some CA glue so I can put it on permanently. But let's just do a test fit for right now. And this is looking really freaking fantastic. Oh my God. My nephew is one happy young man. Excellent. Okay, so, right. I want to put the wrapping on this first. Right. I mean the, yeah. And that's a specific thing. I'm going to use tape for that. So if it goes from I'm going to weather this gray and once it's on. I feel like that is the spirit of the handle. Yep, and that's about where you want to grip it. So now we got to get a little bit of gray wash on there. And that's going to be a little bit of black, a little bit of white. Actually, it's going to be a lot of white and very little black. And a little bit of black. Just the tiniest. And once we get the black on, you see how quickly, that was like 1 Q-tip's worth of black. I'm just going to get this all over here and then peel it back off. I think I could go just a tiny bit darker on that. And so I'm going to get a little more black going in there. Oh, yeah. That just totally brings this whole thing back to a thing. I am now going to attach the axe head to the axe, and I am going to use CA glue to secure the whole thing. Same here. Same here. And excellent. The last thing in this, and it's looking really good, is a black wash. So I'm going to toss out this gray wash. I'm going to hit it with a black wash. And that is how we will get it to that final business. All right. For the black wash, we're going to use just a little bit of black acrylic. And I'm going to toss in some Artist's Medium. And I'm also going to toss in a little bit of water. Just got a bucket of water for cooling down stuff. And it's got dirt in it and everything. I don't care. And some of these interstices to just kind of pull some details out. These final coats of paint, they tie everything back together. And now I'm gonna get some up here, bring it up. And then I'm gonna do the faces of the axe. Yeah, let me get it up in there, yeah. Now, we get it in these details here. Just gonna get this all over. Yep. This handle again. I want it to be a little bit dirtier. All right, it's not moving. Let's get a clear coat on this whole head. Right, one last thing. Let's get a little bit of rubbing and the buff. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Leviathan for Christmas. Leviathan for Christmas. It's what everybody's getting. It's what every little kid wants. Get your kid a magic axe made by the same people who made Mjolnir. I really appreciate you guys joining me for this one-day build. This has been a really, 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 really fun one. I used a pine 4x4 and 2 sheets of sintra, and that's it. This might be one of the lowest cost one-day builds I've ever done. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. I'm very happy. Merry Christmas, everybody. Stay safe, and I hope your holidays are awesome, or were awesome. This is probably airing after the holidays. See you guys next time. Thank you for watching that entire video. If you'd like to support us further, you can head over to the Tested store. Links are in the comments below, and you can buy things like our demerit badges. You've heard of merit badges. These are the opposite. This one here is for measuring once and cutting twice. We went back and forth whether to measure once and curse twice, because that also happens. We went with the cut twice. And this is one of my all-time favorites. This is when you accidentally release the mysterious blue smoke that makes all electronics work, and then they no longer work. You can't release that smoke. Head over to our store, get yourself some demerit badges, and we will see you next time.